Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of We Are the Weirdos Book Club. I am Brandon the Beldam. This is my lovely co-host.
Hello, forehead Heather, weirdos. What is up?
What's up? And happy Alien Day, everybody.
Yeah.
We are both rocking our alien tees in honor of the 1979 movie, which I think in a few years will turn 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But today we're talking about Keith Rossen's Coffin Moon, a Western take on a vampire story.
Yeah. There's his face, his little fangies there. We're going old school April.
Oh, yes.
Alien 79, but Coffin Moon 75 to 77. So it's 70s night.
It's going to be groovy, baby.
Yeah, and neither one of us have wore a twinkle in our parents' eye. So this is for all the Gen Xers out there.
I think my mom was born, I think she might have been 9 years old in 69. Or not 69, 79.
79. My mom was born 63, so she was a teenager.
That was a really, really, special year in history.
Mm-hmm.
That was for the... I think it's so fuzzy. I can, trying to see it.
Yeah, my mom was born 11/28/63. She was born 6 days after 11/22/63, the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah, my mom was born in February 5th, 1969.
All right. Okay, so they're close. So this was your pick.
Yes.
For April. So what made you gravitate towards this book?
I thought the cover looked cool.
The cover.
Yeah, it's the thing about, one of the things about the books is, the book has to have a really eye-catching cover.
Mm-hmm.
And first, it's the cover. Then if the cover hooks you in, then if the synopsis really has to sell you on it. And I just thought the cover looked really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have another book on my shelf similar to this. Do you want me to show you it?
Yeah. Go right ahead.
Okay.
I have no guesses what it could be.
Well, it's definitely a similar cover.
Okay. I was like, I have no idea.
So it's this one. It's called In the Valley of the Sun by
Another skull.
Andy Davidson. See?
Very cool.
I haven't read this one yet, but I'm assuming it might also be something of a... it's also another vampire novel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw this one. I didn't know anything about it. I just saw that it made the short list of the Goodreads Choice Awards, the horror category last year.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of reviews. It came out, I think, September of 2025, but it only has 10,000 reviews. But it's got a 4.09 on Goodreads. But if anyone is interested in this book, what worked for me is I just started reading it. If you read the synopsis, I feel like there is two major plot points that are given away, and they don't happen until 60 something pages in. So it made me go, oh, audibly gasp when I read it. But then after I finished the book and I was looking at the synopsis, I was like, oh, I'm really glad I didn't know that. So if you like being surprised. Just FYI on that.
Yeah, it's the only thing I really don't like about synopsis, or like, is sometimes they feel the need to put something spoilery in the the synopsis to, like, hook you in. I wish
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't do that. I wish they
Yeah,
would just like keep some things like spoiler free,
I
just so
know.
it has some kind of pull for you to like check it out.
I agree. I'm getting to the point where I'm not reading summaries or synopses on books, and I'm not watching trailers. So I'm just like
No, me
going by
either.
posters and going by book covers alone. So hopefully they're aesthetic.
Same. Not to get too much off topic, but I don't really watch trailers that much anymore unless I'm in the theater and I have no choice.
Mhm.
But if it's for a movie, I'm already planning on seeing. Like, I haven't seen the trailer for the new Insidious or Evil Dead Burn.
I have not
I'm
either.
already Yeah. I already know I'm going to go see those movies, so I'm not going to go watch the trailers because I want to be surprised. They put
Hmm.
everything in the trailers now.
Yeah. I haven't, I stopped really watching trailers Pet Cemetery 2019.
Oh yeah.
That really just,
Mm,
that one sticks out. And I feel like there was another one right after that in 2020. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop. I'm
yeah.
just going to go off vibes. So, and then, like you said, if there's certain movies that come out, if they're part of a franchise I like, I'm going to watch it. Like Practical Magic 2, I haven't watched the trailer. I already know I'm going to watch it because I love the first one.
I haven't seen the first one, honestly.
Oh, it's super fun. I have the books. I would really like to read the books because I have Practical Magic and the sequel. So I would like to read them before the movie comes out. So that is my goal for September.
So, speaking on vibes,
Yes.
what kind of vibe did you get reading this book?
um, it's so funny because I just finished Firestarter, which is another road trip type movie.
I saw your review on that.
Yeah, and it's the same color aesthetic too. So I'm very into things that are hot as hell and that
Mm.
are in like the West. um, I really liked this book. I gave it a 4. It started out slow,
Yeah,
but I feel like it was a slower burn that actually had a good payoff. I was vibing with the book.
I
What did
agree.
what did you think?
I felt the same way, honestly. I thought it was more like this book was more of like a character study. If anything, it
Hmm.
wasn't just like there's action in the book. There's plenty of like we'll get to like some of like the gory stuff because this book is like chock full of gore.
Yeah.
Like wow, this is like freaking borderline. This is like an hard R like violent like go- gory vampire story.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah. But
Someone
like
pick it up.
it's a character, but I thought of it as a character study because you had this like guy who's running this bar called
Hmm.
Dwayne. His name is Dwayne Miner,
Yes.
and he's kind of like this, not like this huge like hot shot kind of deal. He inherited this bar called um
Last Call Tavern.
the last call. That's such a fitting name for a bar, huh?
I know.
And when I was reading it, all that came to mind was there was a scene in another book I really liked. It was called Road of Bones by Christopher Golden.
Hmm.
there's a couple of scenes in that book that also take place in a bar, and if you haven't read that book, I would highly
No.
recommend you read it either in the winter or in
Okay.
the summer because it's very, very, very cold.
Okay.
Literally. It takes place in a Russian highway and it's literally a road made of ice and it's like
Hmm.
sub-zero temperatures. But it's like a folkloric kind of story.
Oh, that's fun.
So
Yeah, I thought the writing was really well because it starts off, it's setting up the atmosphere of it. So it's divided into four parts, and the first part of the book is December of 1975. And it just starts out describing the bar. And if you live in a small town or have been to like a hole in the wall bar before, I could picture it in my head. It was talking about having like a jukebox and having Blue Oyster Cult playing on the jukebox. And I was like, oh, I wonder if it's playing Don't Fear the Reaper because I know that song came out around 75 or 76. So that's what I pictured in my head. And like the Christmas lights was strung and it's morning. He's there by himself and he's setting up the bar and everything. And I thought it was just very enduring because it reminded me a lot of Cheers, which I haven't watched much of that show, but I know Sam behind the bar. He's a bartender, but he's also an alcoholic. And then Dwayne in here, he's an
I
alcoholic. And like Luke at Luke's Diner, he's selling coffee, but he's not a big coffee drinker. I was like, that's so funny how they cast a character as selling these items that they're not a part of. So,
it's
yeah.
funny. I like that you mentioned Cheers because I did watch like quite a few episodes of the first season,
Hmm.
and I was just like, yeah, I could picture it being that kind of bar, but a little more like rustic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that's more what northern
yeah,
type settings, and this is kind of like, yeah. And it was just to saying how cold it
southern.
was. Everyone knows everybody, and yeah, he inherited this bar, and he lives above it. Him and his family, like Luke,
Yeah,
and like Sam, they live above this bar, and it's so fun. But I found him as a character just very enduring, very like morally ambiguous. He's a good guy, but he has major flaws. And you get certain seeds, and then it just keeps building, and you figure out different things and why. So, yeah, I really liked him, which is good because we're in his POV through the whole first part of it.
yeah. If he was a boring character, or if the writing was just like so droll, I don't know if I would like be able to like get through this book that often. But
Hmm.
thankfully, the book is not boring. It's very,
No.
very interesting. It's funny because Stephen King like wrote a blurb for this book, and the book has a very kind of Stephen King feel with his characters.
Yeah, there's a writer in it. So that's funny.
So Dwayne, he lives with his I don't if it's his girlfriend or his wife Heidi,
Yeah, his wife
and
Heidi.
they adopted their niece because they're the stuff with the niece.
God bless her. My heart strings for this child. She started it. She's had a rough life for
Oh
13.
yeah,
Because you get it immediately. Dwayne's at the bar and he gets a phone call, and it's the principal of the school. And they're said that Julia's been in another fight. You need to come up here because this time it is escalated to a physical fight, not a verbal altercation. And the girl had to go to the hospital and get stitches. So he's like, okay. So he tells his mother in law, who is the owner of the bar, and she's like, all right, I'm going to come down there. You head up to the school. So he goes up to the school, and pretty much they were in the lunchroom. The girl said something nasty to her and she punched her in the nose twice and ended up having to have stitches. So she gets suspended from school for a while. And like I said, it's just little seeds. You know that it is his wife's niece. So it's his wife Heidi's sister's child. We find out that Julia's biological dad was killed in an automobile accident when she was 2, and that her mom remarried. The guy is also no longer here, and she has a half brother, Keith, that is 3, and her mom is in prison. So the half brother Keith went to live with his biological grandparents in Florida, and she went with her aunt, who is Heidi and Dwayne. So Dwayne is, he never said his age directly, but when he met John, he said he looked to be my age, mid-20s, and he is fresh off the Vietnam War. He got drafted and suffers from a lot of PTSD and was an alcoholic, still is, but right now he's sober. So that's like the whole first setup going
Okay.
on. There's a lot of info dumping. Like
Yeah.
the first 20 pages.
So yeah, that's the first like it's like the first couple of chapters of the book. We're just getting a lot of like backstory on Dwayne and his family.
Yeah, there's not a lot of characters. Like you have Dwayne Minor, who's the main character. Then you've got his wife, Heidi, and their adopted niece that they have custody of, Julia. And then Heidi's mom is Joanne, and her dad, Ed. And the whole time, the first couple of chapters, you hear about how sick Ed is. He keeps coughing, that he might have some kind of lung issue. And then you've got like a couple of people at the bar.
Oh yeah, you got a couple of like supporting characters as well, like his friend.
Like Bobby, who is also a vet. He lost a couple of fingers in the war. I thought it was funny how they were going over the rules of the bar. Like page 15, they don't do hippies. They don't allow drugs. They don't allow prostitutes, and they don't allow gambling. Pretty much anything else, if you're a good person and you don't cause problems and you have money, you're welcome. That they have a lot of Korean War veterans and they have a lot of Vietnam veterans. So it's a very close-knit, like small town with like a lot of good boys. But I thought that was funny that they put those rules in there first. Because what happens a couple of chapters later, 3 bikers walk into a bar and they go into Joanne's office.
That's the beginning of a punchline. 3 bikers walk into a bar.
3 bikers walk in. Yeah, and Dwayne thought it was very suspicious, and Joanne's like, don't worry about it, just let it go. And of course he doesn't. They're boys in a motorcycle club. They're all patched up. And he suspects that they're dealing heroin there or some type of drug. And he ends up being right. And Joanne discloses to him that her husband, Ed, just recently got a CAT scan. And he did test positive for lung cancer that has metastasized up to his brain. So he only has months to live. So that's very important. And he finds out that these people are dealing drugs in the bar and that Joanne is allowing it. And she's like, you really need to mind your own business. This man can't. He's like, why? Why are you letting them do this? What can they give you that is so important? Because this will make you lose everything. And this is like the catalyst for everything.
Yeah.
So all of this is in the first 40 pages. And then the last 20, which is the end of part 1, is in part of the synopsis. That's why I was like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't read it. So yeah, sorry, I was yapping there.
No, it's okay. Because we don't want to give away like too much details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, part 1 stood in my head a lot because it was such a heavy setup.
Mm.
But who do we meet, Brandon? That's the leader of the 3 men that walked into a bar. That's the head person.
So it's this guy named John Varley. And there's something really strange about Mr. Varley.
Mm-hmm. He's a big son bitch.
Mm-hmm.
It said he was between 6'2" and 6'4", 230 pounds.
Honestly, he kind of reminds me a lot of the guy from Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Like, he was this big, brawling, like, country guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So... I'm gonna look up, like, discussion questions so we can, like, talk about some stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say the next things that happen are kind of in spoiler territory, which is why, they end up doing the rest of the plot. Is obviously we said the word vampire multiple times, and there's a skull with fangs on it. Is John Varley is a vampire, and he comes in and threatens Dwayne, and ends up breaking into the bar. And this is where everything kind of changes. Is luckily Julia went to spend the night with a friend. She was not there, but he heard something. And Julia calls and she says, hey, I don't like being at my friend's house. I'm freaking out. I'd rather sleep in my own bed. Can you or mom come and get me? And he's like, yeah, let me get your mom. And she's like, well, I called, but mom didn't answer. And he's like, oh, well, she's probably sleeping heavy. I'll go upstairs. And it was just talking about before he even opened the door, he could smell the metallic and the rust. And you're like, oh no, there's blood. He sees that there is a window that's shattered. There's glass all over the floor. There's a draft. And just the description of what has happened to his wife, it immediately cuts from that to he's in a police station. It's 3 hours later, and they're describing that his wife has been murdered, that she's been disemboweled, and all of her limbs are no longer on the torso. So there's blood on the walls, on the ceiling, just everywhere. And apparently it's her and his in-laws. So there's been 3 homicides that have happened.
Yeah, like we said, the violence in this book does not hold back.
Yeah, and it goes into detail. And then they were talking about, like, on the radio and on the news, you're hearing about missing people. And it's kind of just in the background. And that's what the officers were saying was the way that your family's been killed matches, what other people have been killed. And it's always the spouse that they look at first. So with his PTSD and his drinking and he's having these dreams and everything, and he's military trained. Of course, they're going to suspect him first. But I thought this was interesting too when they were talking about like the hierarchy of the motorcycle club. They just kept saying, well, that guy you're describing has a denim jacket on. It's like, okay. He's like, what's the big deal? And it's talking about, there's a hierarchy that's super important to these guys. There's protocol almost in a military way. That's just weird because he would have a leather jacket with patches on it. Like, why are they taking orders from him? And he took a picture of him, but when they looked at the photograph, it was blank. It was just blurry around. There was no person in it. So him and Julia are the only survivors. So they decide to track this guy down. So the rest of the book, we're on a road trip with them.
Right. Very much in the vein of When the Wolf Comes Home.
I know. It was like Firestarter, When the Wolf Comes Home. Both an older male and a young daughter.
Yeah.
Like
Like a young child.
With a child, yeah.
So, should we talk about Julia's home life, or should we just leave that to the readers? Because that's the part of the book that was just like, wow, this is like, now
Yeah,
we're really in the...
I thought like something different happened at first. But then when I found out what happened, I was upset about it. So, yeah, I guess we'll let them read that because don't want to spoil everything.
Yeah. Let's just say that there's a character very much in Julia's life that is very reminiscent of a character in Salem's Lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you read Salem's Lot, you know what we're talking about. Or even a character that's in Twin Peaks. There's an abusive relationship, a spouse relationship in this. It's very, very abusive. It's almost...
Right.
So it actually might be triggering for some of you guys who read this book who have been in like this kind of relationship. So we're just giving you a heads up on that.
Yeah, as I said, there's drug abuse, alcohol abuse, domestic violence abuse, blood, gore, war violence, war flashbacks,
Like we said,
dismemberment.
our book here, folks.
You're good with no essay content. That's not, yeah, it's no sex in here, so that's good.
Which is weird.
I know, I didn't think about that. There's no sex or...
It's a vampire book, and you think vampires are supposed to be about eroticism.
It's alluded to, but it's not descriptive at all.
It's not like the scene in Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires where, the memorial artery scene.
Yeah. Not, yeah, definitely.
I pulled up some discussion questions.
Okay.
I'm probably going to keep some stuff like... Since this book is still fairly new, we're still going to like keep some stuff like non-spoilery. Okay. How did the main character, Dwayne Minor, change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story? Is there a primary motivation driven by fear, guilt, or search for the truth?
I'm going to say vengeance.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, as I'm saying, he's one of those people that he's dangerous because he has nothing else to lose. So his bar is gone. His wife is gone. He has no kids. most of his friends are gone from Vietnam, and that's kind of the only thing he has to hold on to is getting revenge on this person that killed his wife.
It's kind of like um, Sam Winchester's journey in the. Oh my gosh. No, I can't say anything about that because
I haven't seen
you haven't watched
Supernatural.
Supernatural yet.
It's
I almost like
okay.
dropped a
I
huge
only knew
spoiler
what
on
you were
you.
talking about because of his last name. I was like, hey, that's Supernatural.
Yeah, there's like I can't say anything about that because it's like a huge like that's also like a catalyst to like how Sam like basically becomes like a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So relationships. Consider the dynamics between the lead and the supporting cast. How did the isolation, the setting strain, or strengthen these bonds?
Julia and Dwayne were not super close. At the beginning, she was more close with her aunt,
Yeah.
and they kind of bonded over a cup of coffee with sugar after the fight, and then they're on the run together, and that the being close proximity, and then both of them having a common goal of they've lost everyone in their life, they're the only two left, so that kind of trauma bonded them together.
I kind of felt bad for Julia's fate.
Yeah,
But like
no
Julia's
one
storyline went
in this
dark.
no one in this book has a happy ending.
No.
Like it ends kind of.
It's not a particularly happy story. This book is very, very dark.
Yeah, it's kind of like a warning, like a tale that it's kind of better just to forgive and move on. That if you don't get control of your anger and your thirst for vengeance or like this bloodlust, that it will eventually, you're going to become the monster, literally or figuratively, that you hunted.
Okay. Okay, supernatural versus psychological. How did the book lean towards how did the book lean more towards a literal supernatural haunting or a psychological breakdown? Which interpretation do you find the more compelling? So do you like I think it's saying do you like the supernatural side of things or more akin to like psychological?
I'm going supernatural because even though I love psychological horror, this is so real. Like the post traumatic stress and this poor guy, just white knuckling his sobriety, doing it alone. I was like, that is too real and too depressing. Like, give me vampires and escapism all day. What about you?
I think I lean the other I think I lean the
See
other
that?
direction. I like the
Oh, that's cool.
I don't mind like I don't mind like supernatural stuff in stories like if it's written well,
Hmm.
but I'm more of the deep like darker shit. Like I like the psychological stuff like um kind of like Nat Cassidy's Nestlings.
Hmm.
That's also like that also is like a it's a deep dark like journey to like someone's psyche and what they're
Hmm.
going through. But it also has like a lot of like supernatural elements as well.
Yeah,
And it's
that's a
like I
good
kind of love
mix.
that. I love that shit. I love when like I love like dark psychological shit.
I like parallels in stories. Like one of the things that kind of jumped out at me. I really want to go back and reread this and annotate it now.
Mm. Yeah.
Like you kind of get a POV of Vampire John, and like page 68 and 69, it was just talking about like he's revealed to be a vampire, and you're in his POV, and he says like his dreams, they're like jump scares, and when he goes to sleep he dreams of his victims, And I was like, that's very interesting because when Dwayne goes to sleep, he has night terrors. He dreams of the people that he lost in Vietnam. So they're actually a lot more alike than than you think. Even though one's a vampire and one's human, they're still tormented. I just thought that was very interesting.
That is interesting. I probably will go back and reread this as well because I did like it. I was definitely like, compared to like some of the books I just DNF'd recently because I could not get through them. I was just like, I was locked into this book.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the narrative just it. There's a lot of like, backstory with John Varney,
Mm-hmm.
like where he came from, and that stuff's like really intriguing as well because you learn about like how he came to be and like
Mm-hmm.
who his like I guess his boss was,
Right.
and that was like a lot of like really interesting stuff.
He didn't seem like he was that great of a person before he was turned into a vampire.
Hmm.
Like they're like, have you killed someone before? And he's like, yeah, one person because they robbed me and different things like that. And then he was a bouncer at a bar. As like he seemed to have some sort of darkness in him before he was turned.
There's a lot of details reading this. I really want to go back and reread it and really just
Yeah, like
pay
now that you
attention to it.
know, go back and then pick stuff out. What did you think about like the vampire lore? That always interests me because everybody writes vampires different
Yeah,
on like how you kill them. Because this
like
one,
this.
I don't think it mentions stakes to the heart at all.
No, this one is you have to kill vampires with a silver bullets. Silver
Mm-hmm.
bullets are basically like acid to them. It burns the hell out of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like holy water to demons in
Yeah.
Supernatural. But I thought the lore and like the look of the vampires is really cool because it's similar to, this is like a minor spoiler for Supernatural, but it's not like a character or anything. It's just
Mm-hmm.
how the vampires are in that show. It's like their teeth, it's like they extend
Yeah.
outwards, like out of their gums, like that. You know,
Yeah. It said
they
they
don't
had like
have like
a
those.
second set.
They don't have like these uh two front teeth like how typical vampires have. It's like they open their mouth and like these jutted out fangs come out.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was a really cool look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, I know they didn't age. They can't be photographed. They, of course, die in the sunlight. It seems like they keep their personality because I know a lot of different vampire shows, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Once you're turned, you lose your soul. So you're kind of just an empty vessel and a demon takes over. These people, they seem to be the same person that they were after they're turned. And then Silver can kill them, which the only other vampire show I know of that Silver will kill you is True Blood. And then of course getting beheaded. But yeah, this one you didn't
Yeah.
have stakes to the heart. It was either Silver or cut their head off.
Sorry, it's getting dark, and I'm just gonna put some light up. Okay. Yeah, that's better. I guess I don't need the light back there anymore. Yeah. I really, I wasn't really like a big vampire person. I'm always gonna prefer werewolves. Um, but books like this, they show me that vampires can be like kind of awesome. But
Hmm.
like they're not like the sparkly vampires you would see in Twilight.
Yeah, I think Twilight's the only vampire that sparkle. I was like, all the other ones, like 30 Days of Night, are vicious. They don't really talk. They're just more like Last Voyage of the Demeter. That was another one that was very brutal. Vampire.
I still have to see that one. There's quite a few there's quite a few vampire movies I still have to watch.
That's funny. See, I'm the opposite of you. I prefer vampires. I haven't seen a lot of werewolf stuff. So we're going to have to switch movies for each other to watch on which ones are good.
I guess I gotta watch like Nosferatu. I gotta watch Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Mm. I haven't seen the new Nosferatu yet.
I want to though. I look because I have my definitive love for Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
We'll watch anything that man has been in. Even like not just because he made a great Pennywise. It's mostly because like that's what got him like notoriety from me. But damn, he's a fucking good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he seriously is.
So is his brother.
Yeah, the whole like Skarsgård family,
Yeah.
they're all like they all look good and they're all great actors.
Yeah, it's kind of like that's my two loves is the Skarsgård family and the Hemsworth family. Any of them get in the movie, I'm like, all right, I'm sat. I'm watching it.
Yeah. I'm locked in.
Yeah, so what did you end up? Did you give it a 4 as well? We both gave it a 4-star.
I gave it like a 4.25
Okay.
on Fable.
Okay,
Four stars on Goodreads because they don't do point ratings and the same rating on Storygraph.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I liked it. I really, really liked it.
I did too.
I thought it was so good. This is my first read by Keith Rossen, and I will definitely be picking up more of his books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he has a duology that's really good. Fever House.
Mm-hmm.
That one I've heard is highly recommended. So
that's the one I've seen the most.
Same.
It's like with new to me authors. It's like if I really like the style and like if I'm vibing with the story, I will pick up more of their books. But yeah. So, but I don't think I'll say the same for this book.
Beth is Dead. Ah, okay. I've seen that. That one's new.
I'm not enjoying this one.
I don't know anything about it. I saw the cover and was like, oh, that's fun. Is that going to be another DNF?
No, I'm going to finish it because
you're going to finish it.
I'm just 100 pages away from finishing it, but
oh, okay.
I'm not going to lie. I think I would give this like a 1 or 2-star rating because I'm just not vibing with this one at all. It's just like a long way from. I used to like really love like young adult books when I was in high school compared to like reading them now. It's not like all YA books are terrible, but like you could certainly see like the difference in the writing compared to like YA versus adult books.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the writing is just kind of more simplified, and it's not very engaging in my opinion.
Yeah. So the last book I read was Firestarter by Stephen King. I gave that a very generous 2.75. I finished it only because I owned it and it was the last Stephen King book that I had that I own. So I finally read it. It will be going to a little library. But yes, I've read the book. I have seen the 1984 version. I have seen the 2002 miniseries, Firestarter Rekindled, and I've seen the Zac Efron one from 2022. That's why I bought the book. So I've had it since 2022. I finally read it. It was so boring in the middle. I was like, why? This could have been cut by 200 to 300 pages. Like the bookends were so good. And then, yeah, the middle was not. So me and Stephen King are taking a break. I think his like 80s era when he was actively in addiction is not for me. That I need to read his more modern day stuff.
That's fair. Yeah. Oh, the only books, like the books I'm not looking forward to reading out of his like bibliography in that era is Christine, Cujo, and Firestarter. Like, I don't know. Those books just don't seem that appealing to me. But I promised I was going to read every single book in his bibliography.
I think
Even
the
if I
only
don't connect
two,
with them.
I know, I think the only two in the 70s I have left, maybe three, is Rage, The Stand, and The Dead Zone.
I have read Rage. It's all right. It's a school shooter story, and there's not like you can't really like they don't publish that book anymore because it's in the collection of like the Bachman books, which now is crazy expensive because Rage is out of print.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons. But the story itself, it's from the point of view of a kid who's like a school shooter and he holds this like class hostage.
Okay.
Not much. I mean, there's not really much to it. You just go into like the story of like why this kid did what he did.
Well,
I think my favorite book out of that era, out of like the 70s King, would be The Shining.
Yeah, that's my favorite so far. I think I gave that a 4. Carrie was okay. That was the thing.
Like
Firestarter was like he wanted it to be a Carrie 2.0. So instead of somebody getting telekinetic powers at puberty, it was with pyrokinesis, and it was an 8-year-old. And it just didn't. There was some potential there, but in the ending, I'm like, what was that ending? She just goes to a magazine publishing company and was going to sit down and tell her story. But the beginning was cool. Like him and his wife, they met at, this college experiment, and they wanted $200, so they got shot up with this unknown medication called Lot 6, and that whole thing was super cool. And then like part of the ending was good, but yeah, I was like, well, I read it, so it took me like freaking forever, like 2 weeks to read, but I did it.
Oh. Well, after I finish Beth is Dead, I'm gonna start on these ones. I got The Obsession by Natasha Preston.
Okay, have not heard of that one.
And That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. I've seen this one quite a bit on Fable, and people really, really like this one.
I've read that one. It's pretty good.
Well, I trust your recommendations, Heather.
I like it. I was gonna say now that one is YA, but I feel like it.
Okay. Hopefully it's good.
Okay, and maybe it's not. There's YA characters, but yeah, it was good. I was gonna say I've read that one, and then her second book that came out, Nowhere to Hide or No Place to Hide. It wasn't as good, and then she just came out with another one set on water.
Hmm. Well, with this one, this is her debut book, so. But the reason I'm not clicking with it is because it's just all fucking drama. It's all drama. It's literally just drama, drama, drama. This relationship drama. There's like this. There's a story going on where one of the sisters ends up getting killed. This is in the first like chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But my God, I'm just like, can we please just end this already? Because we're just like, I'm not enjoying this. It's not freaking like.
Oh. Sounds like all the characters are insufferable and unlikable.
It's just all drama.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, I don't know if that's your thing.
It can be. I don't know. There's like if the main character is so incredibly insufferable that I'm rooting for them to die, sometimes that's not enjoyable. So anyway, y'all, that was Coffin Moon for April. That was Brandon's pick. Highly recommend by both of us. So that's exciting.
So next month is Heather's pick, and she's already picked a book that I literally just bought.
That's funny.
It's Luc Dumas's Nothing Tastes as Good.
Yes.
I have no idea what this book is going to be about, and just from the title alone, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, the title alone, it seems like it's a play on words. That saying that I grew up with anyway. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be like the French horror film Raw.
Interesting.
Have you watched that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, this sucker just came out like in March. Like we're going super new. So, minimal spoilers on this for next month, but I'm excited about it.
Well, thank you guys for joining us on this discussion of Coffin Moon. We hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, next month, Nothing Tastes as Good. We're going to be updating the reading club on Fable. So if you follow us on the app, please let us know what you think of this book, and just let us know what you're reading in general, because we really, really, really want the support.
Mm-hmm. And we take all recommendations. So.
Oh yes, yes. We're still a relatively small channel, but we really like this because we love discussing books. But if we tend to get like more of you guys engaged in our discussions, we may start taking recommendations for what you guys want us to give us a try. Plus, remember, it has to have a theme of like weirdness or strangeness. It can't be anything kind of just like mundane. It has to be some kind of supernatural element or something like unique about it. So that's our only criteria. So if you guys have any recommendations, if you want to share them, let us know. But thank you guys for watching. We really always appreciate your support. I'm Brandon the Beldam.
Yes, and Forehead Heather.
And we will see you guys in the next episode of We Are the Weirdos Book Club.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good night, guys.
We're going to see you in May.
Okay, let's see. Pull this.